The question I have is really like how to read you. When I first interviewed you about 15 years ago, you said something like, I do too many books, and you write lots of books, things come out. Also, we see...
And I said I will not, and now I do even more books.
Talk.
But I recycle myself.
And you recycle yourself.
I'm an ecological writer. I plagiarize myself.
Things just come out, they come out, right? It's in the framework of a system. There always seems to be a system. There's a Lacanian theory, there's a Hegelian theory. But actually, in some ways, it seems like there's kind of no filter, there's no editor there. I suppose my challenging question is, do we take your work seriously as a kind of a coherent whole, or do we just take the constant outpouring and pick the gems and just say, yes, but there's a lot of junk in there too?
I already answered you this when we were privately. I will very briefly answer you now. First, as such, the way you described me, the second, the bad option, non-systematic, I'm in very good company. Almost all of my favorite philosophers were doing exactly this. Even if they appeared systematic, like Schelling, Hegel, they were really struggling again and again, repetitively with the same problem. For example, Hegel, Antigone. Do you know that Hegel returned to Antigone in his lessons of philosophy, history of philosophy, phenomenology, 4 or 5 times, always giving a different reading? Heidegger, another big example, in a different way, Husserl, Wittgenstein, and so on. I think Plato already, isn't he, even if it appears that you have this dialogue about this, that dialogue about that, he's always struggling with the same problem. And now, to conclude with the mega paradox, you know which one? Maybe I'm the way you describe it, particular to particular, but I think Hegel is my model here. Forget about Hegel, it's a wrong image. The great systematic thinker, everything is deduced, and so on. Read Hegel really closely. It's really often even patched up, obviously artificially combined without what in psychoanalysis we would have called secondary Bearbeitung. This secondary work through where you patch up the gaps and make it continuous. Hegel is this insight, that insight, and so on and so on. And I find this a wonderful paradox that the philosopher who is usually perceived as the mega systematic philosopher is effectively improvising, desperately looking for a way. Because, you know, I will tell you another thing, you would agree. Hegel basically wrote just 2 books. People forget this. An earlier one before, but Phenomenology and Logic. All other books are just written down by, he wrote 2 other Encyclopedia and Philosophy of Right, but they are university notes. He there doesn't actively think. He resumes facts which are given in his thinking. Hegel really wrote 2 books, and he was constantly changing them, rewriting them, and so on and so on. So my answer to you would be the usual, pretty boring Hegelian paradox. I try to be systematic, but to really be systematic, you must get caught in this vicious cycle of repeating yourself all the time.